last night. I'm actually tweeting it right now. I actually seen this last night, but I'm tweeting this right now that bitget Global just sponsored, has Messi, the famous soccer player. When I lived in Spain, man, everyone talked about Messi. When I lived in England, everyone talked about Messi. So this guy, he is like almost Michael Jordan status, not quite that far, but
Yeah,
he's one of the greats of football, of European football, which is soccer in America. And he just got this partnership, man. It's pretty cool to see athletes getting in. I love to see athletes getting more into crypto, and that's innovation. And you saw Vempire get listed on them just a couple weeks ago. So that's timing for you right there. You see Vempire get listed on there. Vemp's on there. You're going to see this big push. You're going to see a lot more eyes on bitget, and it's good, man. It's good for everyone.
Messi is the GOAT, and we're live. Welcome, everybody that's joining us here today. We're live now, 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗃, and Ian. Messi is signing a deal with bitget. 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗃.
I know, it's a tongue twister.
𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗃 on time today?
Look at
it. What's up with you? No 9 a.m. Modelos anymore?
Confused. My Siri's confused. She's like, what do you need there?
I'm just sipping some tea, mate. Dom would be appreciative. Actually, it's espresso, pure espresso, a little whipped cream.
Not the same.
I got the beans from Mexico when I was down there getting some stem cells, and it was the best tasting coffee. If you've been to South America or Central America, you know if you go to a coffee shop and you drink whatever you drink, it's on another level. Especially the crap that we get fed at Starbucks.
Why is that?
Because it's from there, man, and like it's. I don't know. You would think we could import it easier, but it's really hard to find good coffee. I'm kind of a coffee snob, but if you go to Colombia, you go to Venezuela, anywhere down there, you're going to find coffee on another level.
Costa Rica.
You want to know what else was on another level?
What's
the
up?
Vemp CEO, Dominic Ryder. Let's bring him in on another level. Dom, how are we doing on this beautiful Thursday morning?
There he is.
Oh,
mate?
Yeah, right, mate. Mate, I got a cup of tea, mate. Where's your cup of tea?
I was a little bit late
because there it is. You drinking that?
However, Ian, you can stop slurping in my ear too.
It's like put on our favorite noise, the national anthem.
Should we play the national anthem? 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗃. Daddy said he loves you. Let's see if we can even find it.
I can't wait for the rebuttal. It's gonna be good, man.
He has no rebuttal on me.
Maybe it's gonna happen at Decentricon.
It's already written, Jake.
Guy has no rebuttal. Let's see. I don't know.
Dom, how you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. It's good to see the market green, but then I come on and then I tell everyone.
Dom, don't get bearish, man. We got a good thing going. Here's a bullish news, though. Dom, you guys, Vempire just got listed on bitget, a really hard word to say, bitget. But today I saw, or actually last night, I saw Messi, and I'm sure you know who Messi is. He is an official ambassador for bitget. That's going to bring so many eyes to the to the exchange, and you guys just got listed on there. What's your thoughts?
100%. See, it's like when Jake said 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗃, but bitget.
Bitget, Ian. Ian, it's bitget, brother. Where's the J? Where's the J in bitget?
Bitget.
Where's the J?
Man, whatever.
But yeah, so Messi
say it, Dom. What's the name? How do you say it? In
bitget.
Get.
It's literally two words, Ian.
It's just put a space here. Get.
All right.
It is a hard word though. I've messed it up the whole time.
A big old budget. But yeah, I mean, I've been seeing. You know how sometimes you see exchanges just sort of come up. Last year, I would say the two stories of exchanges becoming like proper tier one would be KuCoin and Crypto.com came out of nowhere to me and became like proper top tier.
Yeah.
And then I would say coming up after that, I saw Bybit moving from just derivatives to things. But yeah, bitget are very much, they're already known for derivatives a lot. So they are very much spending. They seem to have the budget. So if you go on to, derivatives, particularly because you can
derivatives.
Well, on the same page you're on, there's spot and derivatives. So Yeah, they're already. Yeah, there you go. Oh no, see that's CMC. You can't. CMC is owned by Binance, so you can't.
Yeah, they're not going to do it. They're not going to.
If you go to, yeah, so CMC is owned by Binance. If you go onto CoinGecko, that's who I use when I'm looking at exchanges.
No way. Is it that corrupt?
Well,
yeah, bro.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, apparently not, but you know, yeah. So
number 6.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I use CoinGecko when I'm looking at exchanges just in case there's any.
And look at MEXC Global. They came out of nowhere too, I feel like.
Pumping.
Yeah.
What's up with MEXC, Don? Because I want to ask you this. You've obviously got your token listed on a ton of exchanges. MEXC, when the Vitalik Buterin pumps came out, he was talking about the token. He was talking about DAI. MEXC was the first to list these tokens. Why do you think that they were listing them so quickly?
Well, tell you what, if you type into the search bar at the top, type in MEXC Pioneer.
And he's 2.0.
Into like Google it, into the top bar. There you go. MEXC Pioneer. There you go. Click there. Scroll down.
Insight. A substantive decentralized project supporter, MEXC Pioneer is willing to elevate the efforts furthermore by identifying, investing, community building, co-marketing, and providing financing to industry projects that would empower the future.
Keep going. There I am.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit. This guy is famous.
I know that guy.
So Vemp actually had its IEO on MEXC. So I've known the team for ages and they are really, really good. I mean, you know, everyone always has like their view of exchanges and like,
let's go, baby.
But yeah, MEXC, I've got on with well, been working with them for a very long time. And they've always done well by like projects I introduce. In fact, some of those tokens you mentioned, when I see a hot trending token, I send it to them. And if it's got enough volume and it's a good enough opportunity, they'll just list it for free without even talking to the team. For example, there was one, do you remember Laker when that came out? With like medium, like basically like outing apparently who Ryoshi was. Anyway, they were trending tons. I sent it over to the managers over there. I said, this one looks like it's going to get a lot of attention, and they chucked it up in like an hour. So because of that, I get a lot of people sending me projects saying, is this one good enough to get on? Is this got enough volume?
Dom, can you please list this one?
But yeah,
I'm going to hit you up, Dom.
I know.
I'm going to hit you up.
I did send over I sent that one over to, because I'm on WeChat. I know the team based in Asia, so I'm on WeChat with them on the Chinese like WhatsApp, and I sent over like but the problem is their main thing that they've got to consider is that not when you have the tweets that are from a word, you don't necessarily know which one's going to win. Like when we found out about Chinese DAI in our last conversation, we didn't know which DAI was going to be the one to go forward. So they've got to wait for a little bit of time for those sort of ones to settle, because you don't know who's going to win the battle. Because obviously, as soon as you got that like Vitalik tweet, you got 20 people trying to push this out as quickly as possible. So yeah, I do send stuff across to them as and when I think it's like justified. And yeah, if it's really, really well hyped, no other exchange listings, and sometimes they'll stick it straight up, don't even want to be introduced to the team, because that is a strategy that has worked really, really well for them, is that they call it like MEXC gems, because they list well hyped projects very early. And I can also, I know the team at 𝗪𝗧, because obviously Vemp is listed on there. And again, they will occasionally also list like very, very quickly well hyped projects like, I think CAW got onto there very quickly. And I think that one got, did you hear about the Team Finance hack?
Team Finance hack. Hey, I think I did see that last night. What is it?
So basically, Team Finance is like Unicrypt. It's where people lock LP, but CAW and TSUKA got rugged because somebody hacked.
TSUKA got rugged.
Yeah, so they still have like 200K liquidity, but they lost all of it.
What was the market cap at prior?
like 70 million, and I think now they've only got like 200. They had bad liquidity anyway. Now they've only got 200K, but CAW got completely rugged. There's only $17 left in
this 𝗖𝗧𝗏, sir.
I'm gonna let you know that candle.
This
is
𝗖𝗧𝗏,
the
sir.
candle of death.
Yeah, so if you click, so that's TSUKA. Yeah, so they had they
It's still at 63 million, or is there no money there?
no, that's the market cap, but obviously the liquidity now is like 200K.
Oh, the liquidity got rugged.
Yeah, so
How much money did they have in the liquidity prior?
would have been at least a couple of million.
Wow, so they took the liquidity.
If you look on CAW, tell you what, I can find the
and feel free to pull up your screen too if you can navigate a little bit better.
I can find the I've got like
Wow.
I'm not trying to be bearish on anyone in TSUKA, but that candle is dreadful.
This last one right here, sir?
Yeah.
Why is it dreadful? Tell us. It's only down 14%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's talk in a week.
No, I'm just asking why it is.
I'm not trying to. Well, what it is people try to buy it up and it got instantly sold down. And the fact that it's not going back up, there's gonna be, in my opinion, no FUD, nothing like that. Just straight technical. We're going straight technical.
They're coming after you after this.
Yeah, no, as I say, straight technicals. It's a candle that says if it ends like that, there might be some follow through with that.
That's his gravestone doji.
Shout out to Lane Lunsford. Thank you guys for joining the Jay Gagan Show membership. We appreciate you guys supporting the community. Dom, whenever you're ready. Oh, there's your screen. Are you ready to share now?
Yeah, so this is the hacker's wallet. So as soon as you get hacker, they label it up on Etherscan, but
11 million.
880 Ethereum on top of 7 million. And you can see they got so if they got 750,000 of TSUKA, so they would have got the same equivalent of ETH. So they would have nicked at least 1.5 million from TSUKA. From CAW, they would have nicked
CAW. Wow.
So that's 4.4 million.
That was like core.
Yeah. And
damn, bro.
If you look on CAW now,
Cool.
Yeah, CAW.
I was wondering what you were saying the whole time. I heard core.
I heard core.
CAW got hacked.
Caw.
It's like me saying bitget.
Do you like that candle? Do you like that candle, sir? Oh my god.
That's a nice candle. That's consolidation.
$11.
Oh my.
And what's the market cap?
20 million now.
It's over.
That's scary. So
it
as
could
a
come
dev,
back.
Dom, let me ask you a question. As a dev, if this happened to your project, right? Obviously, God forbid it does, but if it did, if you were the developer, what do? Do you have to add more liquidity? Like, what can you possibly do?
Well, that's the thing, is in like especially with like decentralized CAW is like basically it's one of these that has it was funded by SHIB deployer, and that's basically like that is the reason it's high up. Yes, afterwards they decided they're going to be a decentralized social media, but yeah, I mean, it was way higher than that beforehand. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. What do you do? What is Ryoshi gonna if it is truly Ryoshi's coin, then he'll obviously add more liquidity.
Here's a question: why would somebody want to add liquidity to something like that? So if I add liquidity, and this is not funny again, but this is just straight up.
They coming for you, B-Roots.
I know they're gonna
your DMs. Get your DMs ready.
It's not fun. This is
not fun. It's just reality. It's just reality.
You know nothing about the project.
I come in. Let's say I come in with $100,000, $200,000 to add liquidity. That money instantly, when it comes and hits the market, people are going to sell that right away, and I'm just going to have a bunch of calls.
Hey, Jay, it's like when we
like, what do you do with that? Like now I just put myself in a situation trying to gamble to bring the price back up, but I know there are thousands of people waiting the opportunity to sell because they don't want to deal with that. So that's just a market. So if it's a big risk, but it actually can really turn out in your favor if it goes the other way. But there's a lot of risk with that.
Somebody just shared that. I think TSUKA worked with this. In fact, I think the top holder of TSUKA, if I'm not mistaken, is the My Liquidity Partner deployer. And apparently they have liquidity on there. But I guess the problem is whenever any of this happens, and again, just not fudding, but talking facts, somebody can decide, yes, I'm going to add $2 million of my own money to CAW in order to get it back and going again. But I take the full risk that if people don't buy, that the project has legs after all of that got bugged. At 10 million in liquidity just taken. If people don't buy that, then I am literally not just exit liquidity like I'm buying. I am the exit liquidity. If I buy the tokens and they decide to sell their CAW, my liquidity is what is paying them to do so. So I will accumulate, obviously, tons and tons and tons of CAW, but it's how much do you believe in the project? If the CAW top holders wanted to, they could add liquidity back in, but they do so at their own risk that people will and can dump into that liquidity. So they will accumulate more CAW, but if people don't want to buy it, then that's what impermanent loss is, and that's what people need to know when they're providing liquidity or any sort of LP. Impermanent loss is that it will always be even. 50-50 will always be the liquidity in the ETH or the DAI or the USDC, and then 50 in the token. And if people give you more of the token, you have to give them your DAI. And obviously one is a token, one is, well, real, but it's not a, shitcoin.
Crazy.
I mean, any token, even if it was like Vemp, as in one is ETH, the top, the second highest in the world. One is, something that people are more likely to speculate on. So as an LP provider, you take a hell of a lot of risk, especially when there's been some sort. It's like, do you remember when you had that Squid Game launch, which literally went up to hundreds of millions market cap and all down in one candle when it was
trillions?
Good video too.
That when that liquidity added back in by the community, and it's probably still trading now. So somebody decided, because of how big an event that was, I'm going to add LP for that. And people decided, okay, fine, I'm not going to dump into it. Let's take it up. I don't know what's happening to it now. Probably rugged again, but that.
Damn, this is crazy.
It does work sometimes, so it's not necessarily, over. I don't know about my liquidity partner with TSUKA. I don't know how that works. Fingers crossed. But the liquidity was a problem in TSUKA anyway. But then I think that my liquidity partner came in to sort of help that. But now, obviously, the liquidity that was there is gone. But I don't know if it shows up on there. But
well, it's even worse because it's like it's a seesaw. So right now it is so volatile. It's going one way or the other way. The best type of liquidity, in my opinion, is really something that's stable, and you're just kind of gaining fees through that. Right? Why would I mean, I guess unless you really want that coin and you really believe or have connections in accumulating that coin at the best price, that's the best way to do it now. But it seems to me for most people, they want at least some type of stable when they were providing liquidity, they want it to be somewhat stable to make as much money. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, well, I sometimes take, again, but it's a calculated risk. For example, when I was buying multiple different DAI tokens because of the Vitalik hype, I knew.
Hey, bro, we know we're saying it the wrong way.
Yeah, for real.
I think that is actually on me, this one. But essentially, I was taking the risk that I knew for a fact any of them could rug. And I knew for a fact only one of them would be successful, but the one that would get tons and tons of volume. So I thought, well, if I provide liquidity to all three of them, it won't get rugged because I am the exit liquidity. And one of them will be very successful, will almost certainly get listed by MEXC, who I happen to send it to. And then, obviously, I'm earning 0.3% fees from all of the volume that it's getting because it's a well-hyped token. So you can use liquidity to your benefit, but you take the risk that you can be the literal exit liquidity. Or obviously, if I buy like a 50K market cap token and I own like 1% of the supply and I add 1 ETH, and that 50K token goes to 1 million, then I have much less of my 1% of the token left, but I've got 20 ETH worth on the other side. So that is when I will potentially add liquidity. I very rarely do it for stable stuff, just because I like taking risks too much, I guess. But if you purely just want to play where you are earning fees, yeah, add liquidity to like USDC, USDT, or USDC ETH, and you'll earn tons and tons of fees and be fairly stable. Wow. But add liquidity early into a project that you're very sure will have good volume, then you earn the fees, plus your token is bought by people, and thus people give you ETH for the liquidity that you're providing. So there we go.
Very nice. All very, very interesting stuff. Crazy to hear about that hack. I didn't know about it until it happened. I want to talk about this as well. This was the newest announcement in the Colt DAO ecosystem. And there's a lot of confusion. And I know Dom and 𝗖𝗓𝗏 are a little bit more educated than probably me and Ian are in terms of the blockchain and whatnot. But I'm sure, as you guys saw, we had Mr. O tweet out the other day. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Colt will have its own blockchain. So first off, before we get into the details around it, let's go around the roundtable and give our thoughts and opinions on this new blockchain. I believe it's a layer 2 blockchain coming out here. Ian, your thoughts, and then we'll go to Dom and 𝗖𝗓𝗏.
Yeah, I mean, you see the pump. Everyone's happy about it. Colt's a long-term play. The mission's still the same. The developers are building. They're seeing other coins be successful, building, layer 1, layer 2 blockchains. So I'm all about it, man. I'm freaking out. I just see this news, and not to change the subject, but PayPal, and this kind of actually correlates with Colt in the mission. PayPal is now reinstated. They will take $2,500 from your bank account if you have misinformation. Like if you tweet something that goes in misinformation, they will directly hit your bank account with $2,500. So I'm like trying to close my account right now, and it's like not easy. And this is the mission of Colt. You got big corporations that, they're trying to take away the freedom of speech. They're trying to penalize you. And, who's to say this isn't with our bank soon? Hey, we're going to hit you if you talk about misinformation. So this is kind of the mission of Colt. And this is what Colt's fighting against, these big corporations, the big people with the money trying to control your money for misinformation. So, it's a little side topic from the layer from the blockchain, but man, this is the mission of Colt. So anything that benefits Colt, anything that grows Colt to a level that can surpass some of these PayPals and big banks, I'm all about it, man, because I'm all about the mission of Colt.
Yeah, that's wild.
That has to be. There's got to be something to that small print within that, because that would be a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Well, first they said they were going to do it, and then everyone started boycotting them. And then they said, no, they're not going to do it. And now they just reinstated it. $2,500.
Where's the highlight? Let me see the highlight.
It's hooked up to your bank account, 𝗖𝗓𝗏𝗏, and they will hit it with your.
I think the reason why they probably reinstated it is that as soon as they originally put it out, the damage was done. Like, as in people were canceling based on the fact they would even do it originally. So they probably saw that and think, oh, well, we're not really likely to lose anything anymore. So there's no harm in putting it back because we've already lost all those customers.
Boycott them. Everyone cancel their account.
All right. So Ian, now is it have to do with the crypto side attached to PayPal? Because you can withdraw fee. You've got crypto on PayPal now. Correct. So is that what it is, or is it just strictly like?
Let's just read what it is right here. Let's read so everybody knows what it says.
People really like to twist things.
Let's read it right here, 𝗖𝗓𝗏𝗏.
Really give you the proof.
Let's see what it says. It says, if you are a seller and receive funds for transactions that violate the acceptable use policy, then in addition to being subject to the above actions, you will be liable to PayPal for the amount of PayPal's damages caused by your violation of the acceptable use policy. You acknowledge and agree that $2,500 per violation of the acceptable use policy is presently a reasonable minimum estimate of PayPal's actual damages, including but not. Okay, it goes on. And then it says you may not use the PayPal services for activities. It says narcotics, steroids, drug paraphernalia, cigarettes, items that encourage, promote, facilitate, or instruct others to engage in legal activity. And then F, the promotion of hate, violence, racial, or other forms of intolerance that is discriminatory, or the financial exploitation of a crime. Doesn't really say anything about misinformation, hate, violence, racial, or other forms. Like,
that's how they slip it in, though. Oh yeah, we're against this and
Pause.
terrorist, and then now it's like, oh, you talked about having to take a vaccine, $2,500, boom,
true,
right out of your
true.
bank account.
Is it out of your bank account or out of your PayPal account, sir?
Out of your bank account, sir.
Sir, are you sure?
They're linked. So if PayPal,
that would be fucked.
If you have a bill to pay in PayPal, PayPal will, when you set it up, you give it permission to
have access to your bank account.
Charge and take fees from.
That's corrupt. That's not legal at all.
I'm
this would be a very. I'm gonna tell you right now, like
you have to sign it
in court in America, that wouldn't pass one bit.
America.
The first lawsuit that happens on that, I don't care what you say.
Well, just why not delete your PayPal? It's simple. If they want to implement something sketchy like that,
I don't even use PayPal anymore.
Okay,
yeah, but it's linked to your account though. Like I don't use it either.
Yeah, I just deleted it. That you can cancel your whole account, and they held me hostage because I had $20 in my account. They're like, you can't cancel until your money does something, and it was like giving me a hard time. And just now it let me cancel the entire account. So
what if I want to pay them? What if I want to give them money though?
I actually do use PayPal. Actually, now I think about it, all my marketing for my all my editors and stuff gets paid.
What if I'm trying to pay them though? Like, what if I want to give them money? Like
who?
PayPal. Like, I think I stand for it. I think that there shouldn't be free speech, man. I want them to charge us $2,500. Like, what if I feel that way?
Then use PayPal and talk crazy on Twitter and see what happens.
Just give them all my money. So that's it's interesting because it does tie into to Colt quite a bit. But Don, what are your thoughts on this? You're obviously more educated on the blockchain. You're obviously more educated on some of the reasoning behind Colt DAO doing this. But Colt DAO launching its own layer 2 blockchain. Buy or sell? Bullish or bearish for Colt?
It's really brilliant. I mean, I can't believe I can't believe how GT the it should be absolutely flying still. I haven't looked at it today. It could be
let's pull it up.
Just flagging out. That's just flagging out though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand how people just this is a I saw them tweet similar as well, with Polygon, with ETH, with Bitcoin, even with Bitcoin, when a block is mined, the miner is paid the Bitcoin. That's how it works. That's why people mine, because they get rewards for it. With ETH proof of stake, again, it's paid to the people who have staked it. That is how it works. It tips them. But with a ZK rollup, the transactions are done on Ethereum. So Ethereum does all of the actual connecting. A ZK rollup is that it batches all of the transactions on that chain into one transaction, which it then sends to and through the Ethereum network. So essentially, it just does it all in one TX. So that's why you can have the privacy function, because your TX doesn't have to be into a block explorer. It can be, and you can build a explorer for any chain that is a ZK. ZK stands for zero knowledge. And essentially, you can batch everything together, and that's why it's a lot cheaper. And you don't need to necessarily create a block explorer. If I think there is a way that you can find transactions, because once they're batched up and put onto the Ethereum blockchain, you can go through them and but it will take a hell of a lot of time. But immediately it will be very hard to do, because you'd have to go through the whole batch. But yeah, I mean, because Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of those, Polygon, they all have companies and corporates and entities, and this is what they tweeted. And what people don't realize is that, ETH is now deflationary. Oh, wow, amazing. It's such a buying opportunity. But it's deflationary in some aspects, depending on some usage. Colt is saying every single token that you spend on gas is being burned. And that's what a lot of people don't realize when they're moaning about anonymous devs, is that there's no one profiting from, there's no Colt Foundation. The devs have their locks, which everyone can see, but there is no entity that is on the other end taking fees. The Ethereum Foundation earns money from the Ethereum network and gas spent. Polygon Foundation, the very same. The Empire that is a company. But obviously anything that's taken by a foundation isn't given back to users or isn't burned. So I don't think people realize like that isn't done. There isn't a network that burns all of the transactions because they're all managed by entities. So they're just going to literally throw it away. Everything you spend on gas is helping you. Like you are not giving it to someone. It's not going anywhere but to a dead wallet. And they said like yesterday there was like 75,000 Matic spent on gas. So Matic is like, less than 1 cent per transaction, and it came up to like 75K USD, and that in Colt is like 10 billion. And
wow.
if it was Ethereum, like the amount of Ethereum that would have been spent yesterday, or on any chain that doesn't have, because I think Polygon would probably end up being cheaper than a ZK. But yeah, I mean, I don't think people realize that, like, God, people give like these sort of devs a hard time, but they're literally like giving away their money. Like they could, if they wanted to, charge fees like every single other L1 on top of this, but they're just sending it all to a dead wallet. But I think people don't realize that, usually with ETH, it doesn't feel like you're paying for a service, but Ethereum has revenue. You can look at it, and like they even advertise like Ethereum's its highest revenue ever, and it's seen as bullish because obviously it means people are using the network. Well, the same thing can be said about any sort of other L2, but with Colt, if they're burning all of the fees, the more active the network is, again, the more you encourage people to build on the network, the more usage of the network, the more people talk about the network, the more is burned, because the more transactions that take place, the more contract deployments that take place, the more Colt is burned, and nobody gets any of that, like the foundations. It's all just sent to a dead wallet. So yeah,
bullish.
People are being very, very stupid. Well, it's not stupid. I mean, these are complicated things to work out how it works, and
to understand for the normal, like I've been in crypto, fully for the last 3 years, and it's like it's still confusing for me to understand. That's why it's good to have veterans on here like you that can explain it. So from what I'm understanding, right? Ethereum, every time someone trades on Ethereum, they make money, they make revenue. Every time someone trades on the new Colt blockchain, and I wonder if it's going to be called Colt blockchain, hashtag talk about Colt blockchain will get trending. They're going to be taking those tokens and sending it, like the transaction fees, and sending it to a dead wallet to burn it, correct?
Yeah. So with Ethereum and like Polygon, like they don't keep all of the fees. Some is burnt, and then some is given to previously it's given to miners, and then some would go to the foundation. So with Colt, it's just all burnt rather than being split across revenue pots by a business. It will just all be burnt rather than going to miner, foundation, staker.
I put in the comments how to mute Sir Clicks a lot, Ian, just because he's clicks. I don't mute him. Sorry, and I'll put you back on. So that's bullish news there. And what do you think? I mean, so first off, it's going to be a L2 blockchain. It's built off of Ethereum, correct? Like it's built on Ethereum?
Yeah, so I believe it depends on exactly what they're doing. So there's not many ZKs up. They're a very new thing, and Vitalik honestly doesn't stop going on about them, and neither do a lot of the MEXC. So at the moment, there's one called like Stark and Starkware. There's one from like what are you doing?
He's laughing. I think he's laughing because you said Vitalik, and I hear him sniffling, so it made me laugh. Is that what it was, viewers?
Yeah.
You heard Vitalik, and I just see viewers go. So I started smiling too.
Fair enough. All right. Okay, I'm not going to say
VB.
Yeah, VB. VB. Yeah, essentially there's Starkware. There is Polygon Hermes. And I don't know if I'm just thinking this, I might not be, but I believe that it's going to be there's forking a blockchain isn't hard. You can copy and paste contracts and like layer ones very, very easily. What is difficult is customization. And because basically, if something has been vetted, tried and tested, audited, that if you copy and paste it, then as long as there's nothing wrong with the old one, your one will be fine as well. It's more of a risk where, for example, you copy and paste someone's contract, and then a blockchain gets exploited, every fork of that then needs to be panic and literally think, okay, we definitely have that. But if customization is the element that's the hard part, because if you change a fork, then you need to be really, really sure that you haven't like opened up a back door for something bad to happen. So the more customization elements, the harder it will be. From reading that document, the customization will be the privacy aspect, which isn't necessarily as difficult in terms of like, you know, opening yourself up, because with ZK, you if you send the transaction directly to a node, then you cut out like the block explorer. So that doesn't necessarily change the code, but I'm not technical dev, so I could be completely undercutting it. But
I want to ask about that more. I want to come back to you, Dom, after this and ask you about the privacy aspect, because that's something important. But B-Roots, I want to talk to you about this because you're obviously a big part of the community. You've been a part of the FUD too. I've seen people on Twitter fudding you about certain things as of late. But Mr. O puts in here, did you know that a community can become so passionate that it can disagree and disregard its fellow supporters and become disillusioned with their understanding of the vision that they all believed and supported in? And then he finishes this article at the end by saying, the point being that by existing and building our own blockchain, no action is directly harming the protocol and token by not, for example, buying or selling certain proposals or by spending the treasury on good causes, etc. With our own blockchain, we can support everybody. We do not need to worry about shouting out our investees in case followers rotate into them. We have never needed to, but now even more so, don't need to worry about the returns on investments from proposals. It sounds like part of the reason they're launching their own blockchain, I could be wrong, I want to get your opinion, B-Roots, is because of some of the fighting that we've seen internally, people getting upset that certain money is going to proposals, people getting upset that certain proposals are getting passed. Do you think that is a big aspect in why Mr. O decided to launch this new blockchain?
Yes and no. I would say no, because any type of ecosystem coin, which I could put Colt as an ecosystem coin, anything you can add to the ecosystem to burn Colt is a positive thing, regardless. I do think this was being built before this FUD came up, because Artorias did make claims that they were building something. Nobody knew what it was, but I guess this is what it was that they were building. Now that this has come out, it just happens to be a little coincidence that, hey, yes, you know, this situation did come up, but it's a DAO, and that's the thing. You've got people so, let's say, so for one side and so against the other side, and there's a lot of clashing going on, and this is a way to just kind of like put it to the end. So that's why I said yes and no. I don't think it's the main reason why, but I do think that it did have a little piece of it that he could add to that passage to say, yeah, let's add this to it, and it all makes sense.
I think, to my understanding, and what was hinted at before, was that this was always being built, but I think that because there was previous FUD where like I think like before like the market crashed, they were like hyping up for something, and then it fell through, and people were annoyed that they were hyping up. So it turned out that it was like they were going to list on like a really top exchange, and then market dropped and exchange pulled out. So it looked like they were like hyping up nothing basically. And after that, they said that they weren't going to, basically pre-announce anything because they don't want people to get, upset if it gets delayed or anything like that. So I think that they were building it, but they basically announced it to sort of let people know, because it is a point, and it happens. Like I see it in my own community in Vemp. Like you go through market cycles where you're flat for a while. It seems like dead, and you're like worrying, like where's the community gone, etc. You start pumping. Community absolutely loves you, proper shilling it. Everyone's going absolutely nuts. Everyone's spamming the Telegram, and then you get to the top, and then you have the people who buy the top. Literally, you drop by like 3%. They already start coming out. Why dump? Dev do something.
Dev do something.
Dev
And,
sleeping.
And then people hate you, they hate you, they hate you, they want to kill you. They're actually sending death threats.
Yeah.
They're setting like accounts. And it happens in this site. And then you get to this point again where everything's dead, you're panicking that the whole community's left. Then you get a little small pump back and it all goes back in the same thing. And there's this toxic thing of like absolutely nuts, we love everything. And then you get this toxic wave down, which is exactly what Colt got. I mean, the difference is that with something like Colt, since you have, the whole point is to be apolitical, which means that you attract everybody and people hate each other naturally. Like in this world where people just dislike each other, you do not get people agreeing, and people love to disagree, and people love to be heard, and everybody loves to talk about themselves, their opinion, why they're right, and what they are doing. And that's just a fact of life. That is not about any community in particular. It's just one of the main things that I used to have when I worked as a salesman and I was selling to financial advisors, the words I had almost like a inspo board and reminders of what I needed to remember for sales. And the biggest one highlighted was everybody loves to talk about themselves. You don't talk about you ask people about their life to you forever. And that's the same. It's human nature. Everybody loves to talk about themselves. So you can use that in sales, etc. But in a community,
Especially be roots.
The best thing to do in sales is to always ask open-ended questions.
Exactly. See,
yes,
never bullshit a bullshitter.
And Dom, too, on this note, I want to get your analysis on this, and then Ian, I'd love to get your thoughts afterwards.
I got one thing I just want to tell viewers. Someone started a DNS coin.
Dev Sleep coin.
Dev never sleeps.
I saw that.
And I was gonna ape it, but I had like 180 wallets at a 20K market cap. But I was like, that's a good one, man. But
they comment on
we see you.
My thing yesterday. I said, which meme coin will 1000x? And someone said right here, I said, which meme coin will 1000x? They said Dev never sleeps. I said, good name. Very memeable, but I didn't even look into it. I was about to go to sleep last night. But Dom, I want to take this to you, and then I want to get Ian's thoughts and also the community's thoughts too on what this means. But so current ERC20 Colt and POS 20 Revolt will be able to be bridged across to our chain to power the network due to building on a ZK blockchain, which what does it mean? It means zero knowledge blockchain. Our intention is, if feasible, to allow users to opt in or out of sending their contract interactions to a block explorer, meaning that it's up to you as the user whether you wish to be transparent or not. Not to get too technical, but essentially, in theory, if possible, the transaction is sent to a zero knowledge node. Zero knowledge? Mm-hmm. Yeah. As everything is batched together and then sent on chain, which gives the transaction max privacy. How does this work? B-Roots, I know yesterday we were on the phone, we were chatting about it. You're like, this reminds me of Tornado Cash in a way. And what was it, the other one? Zcoin or Zcash? Zcash. So Dom, how does this work? How can you be private slash, have the privacy in crypto, but also how can you not be worried that something's going to happen like Tornado Cash where they just kind of blacklisted all the wallets? And then Ian, I'd love to get your thoughts on what he says.
Well, this is the thing that people worry about with Ethereum and having like Ethereum validators, because the new proof of stake rather than proof of work means that validators own certain amounts of ETH. And if the validators decide to be OFAC compliant and don't mint blocks which contain like blacklisted wallets, then they can do a 51% attack where if they own 51% of the network, they can control it and take it over and stop it. And it's happened before on like Bitcoin Cash, where 51% attacks have sort of ruined it and they need to hard fork. But essentially with ZK, the privacy aspect is that all transactions are batched together. So rather than being sent to the block explorer automatically, when you're building this, you can choose to implement a block explorer if you so wish. You don't need to have one whatsoever. So a block explorer is EtherScan, BSC scan, Polyscan. So essentially that is up to the developer to build always. The blockchain will always exist, but the front end and building that out is the difference. So essentially you're not having that automatic, every transaction is sent to EtherScan or Colt scan, whatever. they had the option to. So you opt in and out, which means that it gets round the Tornado Cash problem, because if you wanted to use Tornado Cash, if there was a version on Colt's chain, you could be completely transparent on every transaction you ever do. But then if you want to use Tornado Cash, you just interact with it and you say, no, I don't want this to be sent to the Block Explorer. You've used it, but no one can see you've used it. And you don't get the regulators like peering into you, blacklisting your wallet because you've just opted out. Nobody can see that you've used it. So you're free to use it as you so please. So it puts the privacy back onto the user. Obviously, it has the normal things where if I am a dev who's rugged people, then if I've opted out of anyone ever seeing my stuff, then I can deploy contracts and I can rug and no one can see it and I get away with it. But at the same time, the user will be able to see if they have or haven't opted in and out of transactions, and they can make that decision. Obviously, whenever you put the onus on a user to do something and it goes wrong, they never blame themselves. But essentially, there'll still be people who moan and say like, oh no, you tell me who did this. But they decide whether they interact with a developer who has hidden the contract deployment or not. So that is the argument. It's basically where you stand on that moral spectrum. In reality, it puts the onus completely on the user, but some people will still say, no, it shouldn't be like that. Everything should be transparent no matter what. But then on the other side of it, why? If you plan to use it correctly, privacy shouldn't be something that people think of as, well, if you're not showing me, it means you've got something to hide. And that's the problem nowadays. People don't see privacy as a right. They see privacy as you've got something to hide. Otherwise, you wouldn't want this to be private. And that's the problem. And with the blockchain and Ethereum, everything does get sent. So if you have a doxed address, then it is doxed. It's like how they labeled the hacker's wallet of Team Finance Hacker. So that is the moral arguments too. But yeah, I think people seem to think that privacy now means, and it's been taught and put by the system onto us that, well, if you've got nothing to hide, you should have no problem with it.
Sure.
And everybody thinks like that. But the problem with that is a complete invasion of your rights. As in, if you are conditioned into believing that, then where does it stop in terms of control? It's show us everything. It's like take all your clothes off. No, why? Is your body disgusting? It doesn't make sense yet, does it? But that's the thing, is in where does it stop with the term with privacy, with privacy? And that is a dilemma that is way above any single blockchain. But
if you want big companies and big money to come in crypto, you're going to need some sort of, or even governments, and you want all that money, all that economic energy to come into crypto, you're going to need some sort of privacy. And I'll give you a prime, real short example.
Let's hear it.
I am an employer. I give employee $30,000 with these credentials. This employee has the same credentials, but I somehow negotiate with this employee saying, hey, I'll give you $28,000. Sure, there needs to be some privacy going on there, because this employee can be like, well, why'd you give him $28,000? Gave him $30,000. Wait, why did he just get a raise of 10 ETH and I got a raise of 7 ETH? And then you got this clash of just information, things going on, and you're like, it's just not logical.
And my opinion is the opposite of that. I think that's what makes the blockchain so good and unique, that everything is trackable and traceable. If the government wants to get in, they can't move big money around without people seeing it. And that's going to be transparent to the people. And that's why it's for the people. And if, your example, 𝗖𝗎𝗓𝗔, if someone says, well, you paid them this amount and you're only paying me this amount, and you say they negotiated better, they did a better job at this, that's the way it is. And that's honest to someone. I like them better. And I know it's not fair, but nothing in life is really fair. And at the end of the day, at jobs, usually word gets out that someone is getting paid better, or you can see it. They get more days off. They're the favorite, and that's just life. I feel like look at the UFC. You see guys like freaking Sean O'Malley and Khamzat Chimaev get freaking just silver spoon all the way up to the top, fed easy fights, and then boom, jumped all the way to the top, controversial decisions. We can see that. We can see how much money they make too. They make more money than the average guy with their amount of fights, but it just is what it is because the UFC likes them. They're marketable. And I don't know. I just think it's what makes the blockchain unique. And if the government gets in it, the people can see what's going on.
You ready for this, Ian?
See both sides.
You're about to get bam knocked out with this one. So you just meet some random guy on the street, and you're like, "I like your car. I want to buy it. I'll pay you $10,000 for it." You give him that money. Now he knows every single transaction, everything about your wallet. You cool with that?
Real quick, not really, because you could just send it to an exchange and send it from an exchange or send it from a new wallet just to counteract that.
Or be real. I mean, let's be real. How many wallets you got? We all got a bunch of wallets. So you could start a new wallet for that. That could be your buying and selling wallet.
But again, how many, this means that as a user, you are having to do those things because you want privacy. When if you could opt out, you could just use one wallet and decide.
Yeah.
So
I see both sides.
I was going for that way. I was like,
I see both sides. I see both sides. I like the privacy thing, but then again with Ian, it's like if Nancy Pelosi gets a crypto wallet, it's like I want to be able to see all her shit. I want to see all the donations coming in. Like I want to make it public, but at the same time, like yes, I 100% want privacy because especially I do a lot of donations on this show, right? We give out $75 here, $100 here. It's like, I don't want people to be able to go in and see how much money I have. Like that could be a security risk, right? You don't want to see people seeing your trading. Like,
do you want the enemy to know that information?
No, I don't want the friend to know that information.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You want the country over there that's an enemy of your other country to know what's going on?
Yeah, I like the privacy. I like the privacy. I like the privacy aspect
because that's a security risk.
Yeah, I like the privacy aspect for me, but I think I do see Ian's point as well. It's like it is nice to see the transparency of what's going on.
I see what you're saying, B-Roots, and I know there's ways to get around it for like that type of level of stuff. But wouldn't it be nice if the government got all into crypto and someone campaigned and said, we donated to this, we got funded from this person, and we could say, okay, let me check the receipts. Okay, you're legit. You're actually not corrupt. You're actually not lying. I like this guy. I'm going to vote for him. Instead, you got, the Clintons saying we're getting all this money. We're helping out Haiti. And did they help Haiti? No, they arguably trafficked children from there. So,
whoa.
I mean, yeah,
PayPal 2,500.
Just canceled, son. Just canceled it.
On that note, though, the same thing, though, is like with the transparency, just like we just said, if you bought a car and gave them 10,000, you could use a separate wallet. So could anybody else in crypto. So I don't know if there's ever going to be the transparent aspect. It's a good debate. What's the chat thing? What is the chat thing?
You got trust and you got trustless. And for some reason in crypto, just including like with DAOs, that we're talking about with DAOs, you're not going to have one way fully or the other way fully. There's always going to be some gray area with the way people think, and it can never be solved fully. That's why the Colt thing, that's why I think the ability to turn it off or on is a good thing, because as Dom said, it puts it into the users.
Yeah.
It's in their situation. That's what they want to do.
You can opt in. It's not all. Yeah. It's not all private. You can opt in or out. I like it. I think what Colt's doing is
if there's any privacy, and I've said this since day one because I'm big on privacy. I've watched all the Monero streams back in 2017. I was a big fan of DAO, which is like the Ethereum of smart contracts. I'm a bigger fan of Colt now that they're doing this, because I've always said if there's any privacy coin that gets accepted by governments, it's the one that you have the ability to turn off or on. That's simple.
I think, well, from a developer standpoint as well, both when I have been having an exchange listing, for example, both times I listed when I had to send tokens to Gate for our listing, community saw it, found out early. And when they do, it removes price impact because everybody it gets spread around, people buy in, and it's buy the rumor, sell the news.
Wow.
Again, with KuCoin, people watch the exchange wallets or deployer wallets, and if I'm not listed on KuCoin, I suddenly send a shitload of EMP there. People obviously know I'm about to list. And again, if I had have used Tornado Cash to remove the trail, I would now have the deployer as sanctioned. I didn't do that. But again, it's like people don't, if it doesn't affect the person, people don't think about the reasons for it. Not everybody who has used Tornado Cash is a North Korean hacker. It's like when the government put that on, that is like, it's like Ford, pulling all of their Mustangs because a North Korean hacker drove one. Because not every single driver is going to be a North Korean hacker. Not every single user is going to be a North Korean hacker. So why would you get rid of the whole thing? It doesn't make any sense. But nobody thinks about a real world example of the fact that, or again, we need to ban taxis because drug dealers are selling drugs through them. Well, obviously there's going to be that section of it, but the other section is just normal people wanting to get in a taxi. But nobody thinks about it. Logically, they just think you're trying to hide something. This is a privacy tool, and therefore we're going to get rid of everyone.
I'm with Dom. Yeah, I'm with Dom on this. It makes perfect sense. It's like just because you have a couple bad actors, you don't take it all away. What's the latest with Tornado Cash? Like in America specifically, is it blacklisted? Can you not use it at all?
I would not. In America, I personally would not mess with it because Coinbase is our way of getting our money out into the bank accounts, and there is very good chance your stuff will get blacklisted.
Wow.
Yeah. The thing, what you have with crypto protocols is that there's a couple of things to look out for. So number one, the Coinbase issue is so Coinbase and Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, they are apparently they are not censoring because they are one of the biggest validators for Ethereum, and they said that they aren't censoring based on OFAC compliance in Ethereum blocks, what I mentioned earlier. But Circle, which is the company behind USDC, is very tight with Coinbase, and they are blacklisting based on people using Tornado. So you have different types of front ends, like WordPress, for example, Webflow, all of these like Wix or something like that.
Wix, yep.
Yeah.
So all of those are centralized. Therefore, if they were hosting Tornado Cash, then they had to take it down. But you can use IPFS, which is like Internet. I don't know what the acronym is, but yeah, essentially, with that front end, you can't take it down because it's decentralized. And I know that, for example, Colt said, I don't know if it's been done, but Colt said they were, after Tornado Cash, they were moving to IPFS. Or I don't know if it's like a backup, basically, because I think that it's like a lot more, it's like any sort of coding, everyone knows JavaScript, but then it's like why people use WordPress, because everybody knows how to use it. So I think IPFS is one of those where it's like really annoying to build on because it's new, but sort of like coding Solidity is very different for a JavaScript developer, for example. So people can use it, yes, but they probably choose not to now.
It's a good conversation to have, and I'm excited to hear everybody else's. Before we move on to the next conversation, everybody put your thumbs up, sideways, or down if you're bullish on the L2 Colt blockchain. In 3, 2, 1, go.
You went double.
I went double. I'm very, very bullish on it. Now, I want to move into this because this is another good debate that we could be having, because Bitboy Crypto is going out, some of the CEOs and founders of exchanges talking about how they're not good for the crypto space. Let's watch this and let's all give our reactions on this blurry ass video, I must say.
Out here putting the work in. I don't represent the people. The fuck I don't. I'm the one who does. It's me. I'm the one out here putting the work in behind the scenes, trying to save crypto, while these devils, Sam Bankman-Fried, Brian Armstrong, they're trying to permanently ruin it. This is not about money for me. I hope you guys understand this. I'm here fighting for you. This guy with these freaking glasses on, this douchebag, is out here trying to tell you that only the suits know what to do. Only the suits. Only the people who have all the money. They're They're the ones who can determine what happens. No, our bill is for the people. And you're going to find this out. Out here, put in the work.
So what the hell is happening here? He's going after Sam Bankman-Fried of FTX. He's going after Brian Armstrong of Coinbase. Does anybody here on the stream have any information on why he's so angry at these guys?
Yo, I don't be just waiting for me.
First off, I'm just gonna say this with Bitboy.
And is he okay? Is he okay, dude? He's fucking really angry in that video.
Here's the thing. Bitboy got to where he's at now by being the anti-person that he is now.
The opposite, like not who
he's the complete opposite of who he was literally 2 years ago. So the guy used to be more degen than all of us.
Really?
Way more degen. He's talked to some government agencies about his degenning and how he did it. All these regulation stuff. He's got multiple videos how he wants the big guys to come in. And he wants all these guys to come in because you know what? Ethereum's going to get the $27,000 per Ethereum last bull market per Bitboy because all these entities are going to come in crypto and buy the Ethereum up. So my prediction is $27,000 Ethereum. So when I hear something like this, I just shake my head and say, nah, bro.
He also says the bottom isn't in.
Nah.
Don't get me started on that part.
That's coming next. That's coming next. Dom, your thoughts on Bitboy and how he's acting, and like maybe you can explain to the audience why he's targeting SPF and other guys like Brian Armstrong.
Can I say this real quick before he goes though?
Go ahead.
I do like Bitboy and I do watch his show, but I just
he switched up though.
Yeah,
we're taking over Bitboy. Crypto Kings taking over Bitboy next bull run.
He says he's for the people, but I don't remember hearing him talk about Colt. Anyone else heard him talk about Colt?
I didn't hear him talk about Colt at all.
Yeah.
It's rule number 1 too.
I think, in fact, he mentioned it once and said that he wasn't buying it.
He actually talked about it.
He called it a meme coin.
Yeah, he said he's done with meme coins. Maybe no one's told him yet that it's not a meme coin, and that apparently if he cares so much, like he was going on then, he probably should start talking about it.
Should we target him right now? Do you think we should do a tweet to him and say, "Hey, at Bitboy Crypto, Colt DAO is not a meme coin. Have you checked it out?"
I think so. And if he cares enough that he's getting that upset about how for the people he is and how it's not about the money for him, well, is it because they haven't paid him? Is that why he hasn't talked about it yet? So
it's an opportunity right now.
But the reason he's getting annoyed is because, like, I think it was 83% of all liquidations, like yesterday. Obviously, all the shorts that got squeezed out were on FTX.
Shorts got wrecked.
I say this all the time to anyone who uses a centralized exchange. What people don't realize is that people think that centralized exchanges and the markets on them follow like DEX tools or like Uniswap or DEX liquidity. That has no relation whatsoever. I could right now say to my market makers, can you pump them please on Huobi to $10? And because of the liquidity on there and the fact that they look after it, they could. Obviously, I wouldn't be so stupid to do that because everybody would start arbitraging so much that it would wreck the price. Because people think that there is some magical correlation between these. The only magical correlation is arbitrage, where people, if they saw it on Huobi at $10, they would buy it in Uniswap and sell it into Huobi because that's arbitrage. So you can manipulate liquidity and prices on these different exchanges. The problem with leverage and trading margin on an exchange is that they can see exactly where you've put your stop loss. You are playing poker with your hand upturned. Everybody can see your card and you're trying to play against somebody who can see exactly whether they're going to fold or bet based on looking at your cards and seeing your stop loss, which is why you will see the wicks just go down. Like everyone's got their stop loss. Let's say everyone's long from 19K and everyone's got their stop at 18.9K. How often is it that you get a little bit wicked out by it just spiking into your stop loss? And there's a reason that happens, and that is max pain market, because they can see exactly where your stop loss is. They know where everybody is shorting from, where everybody is going long from, and they play you because you are showing them exactly what hand you have. And that's why people should use stuff like GMX, which is like a decentralized leverage and options platform. Because, yeah, you are literally playing against the exchange when you're leveraging on Binance, Bybit, etc.
Absolutely. And we just
I am the
targeted
first quoted tweet.
Yeah, we just targeted Bitboy, guys. Go retweet this, tag Bitboy. If you guys are in this chat, 200 people in here, guys. And if you haven't yet, please smash that like button. All 4 of us gentlemen working very, very hard. It's free to do, and it helps get this in the YouTube algorithm so more people can come in the comments and see you shilling. Yantra, Yushi, I see all of you guys. Thanks for being in here. Make sure to smash that like button and go tag at Bitboy Crypto. Go retweet this, hit a like, comment at him. It'd be great if we got a response from Bitboy Crypto because it's not a meme coin. It's more than that. And it would be great to see his thoughts. Ian, your thoughts on Bitboy Crypto? Does he need to do some jujitsu or work out? Like, what the hell? That guy's going through some shit, it looks like. Did he just get broken up with?
Yeah, I mean, when you don't release that energy in training, fighting,
sex,
you have this built up energy that's waiting to explode.
Too easy.
And Bitboy, he's gonna know who the Crypto Kings are because we're gonna take him with this tweet in the next bull run. I mean, that's been our mission, man. We're gonna overtake Bitboy next bull run. You guys heard it here first. Retweet that, guys. Let's get his attention right now because he needs to talk about Colt. It is not a meme coin. Colt is much more. It is for the people. It is the cryptocurrency for the people. It is not a meme coin like proof of memes. Proof of memes is going to be a game changer, and I want to talk about that a little bit because
talk about it.
Palm Chain is about to go live on MEXC, and you have ETH 2.0 trading on MEXC right now. The price is crawling back up. I hate to say it, I see other coins starting to get sold off, and you start to see this pump because people realize what's going on. And 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 tweeted it out today. I mean, the marketing, the partnerships, the building, I mean, everything is on point with the dev continuing to build. And you're going to see Palm Chain go live, and you're going to get to see the market cap of Palm Chain on MEXC. You're going to see ETH 2.0 trading on MEXC, which it is now live. And you're going to see people kind of freak out because you can buy ETH 2.0 at a price that I believe, I want to be careful what I say, but I believe it's going to be a lot lower than the Palm Chain. And people are going to realize this is the pre-sale for the Palm Chain. You're buying ETH 2.0 not for the gains, not to sell it and make money. You're buying it for your percentage of the position that you're going to hold in Palm Chain, which you will get airdropped 15% and 85% each, or a percentage each day after that. And you're also going to get Palm G, which is the governance token, and that will be 1-for-1 of ETH 2.0. ETH 2.0 is essentially migrating over to Palm G, which will be the governance token. They were leaving the Ethereum blockchain to be fully Palm Chain. And guys, if meme coins decide this is the blockchain for meme coins, which it's designed for, people who get in now, it's game over. 𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧 just did I mess anything up there?
Did I stutter?
𝗖𝗓𝗡𝗖𝗧, you buying?
Did I do good? That's
well,
no,
I mean,
I'm with you. Like the narrative, the marketing, the everything about it is the stars are aligning with it. Like I said, it had its FUD event. It looks like it's crawling back from its FUD event. And I made a tweet that said, and this was for Colt, this was for proof of memes, this is for any other shit coin that you're in. A FUD event will either destroy a coin or it will make a coin stronger. And the community will rally together and either pick up that coin and it's like it never happened. And then there's nothing that can stop that coin once it survives and takes over a FUD event. That's how you can tell whether a coin is good or not, because in reality, majority of crypto is not about what it does, how it does it. And I say this over and over and over again. It's about the narrative and the community. Look at 𝗪𝗓𝗧𝗪. 𝗪𝗓𝗧, it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing. What was the narrative? It's the Dogecoin killer. What made it go high so fast? Probably a couple pump and dump groups, yes. But the community. and they latched onto it, and it kept going higher and higher and higher. And that coin went to what, $66 billion market cap from almost pretty much nothing. That's really what crypto is right now. So I think they are hitting all the right points. The stars are aligning. We will see how it ends up.
What I love about these, the good thing is with FUDers, and you can see it easily, is that if the FUD is baseless, it very quickly gets exposed. And that is because, for example, like there's that Colt account that was apparently set up to speak the truth about like proposals. It's done nothing but just attack like B-Roots, this other guardian. It literally, it was set up to talk about the truth in Colt, but it's only spoken about 3 people and 1 proposal for like its whole existence.
What is that page too? I saw something, the Colt something. Was that the page or what?
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
Isn't it crazy when someone says, "Trust me, this is the truth," that they're the ones that are lying?
And the best part, they don't allow replies to their tweets.
Yeah, you can't even talk to them.
You can't comment on them. Like, imagine that. Imagine like being such an absolute pussy that you set up a FUD page to expose the truth in the community, but don't you dare argue it. I am the truth.
Block Inu.
Inu, get him out of here.
Block Inu.
And yet, like, there's no actual, like, it's literally a page that attacks 3 people on and on and on and on. Like, there is no other, like, it was supposed to be like, helping. It's not helping. It's just attacking 3 people over and over again. Like, yeah, honestly, it's driving me nuts. But it must have the people who are helping it out and supporting it on the back end, because otherwise it would have shut the hell up by now.
Now, Dom, what's your honest opinion on proof of meme?
I mean, it depends on the levels of, like I mentioned about the Colt blockchain, there's a certain amount of, when you change contracts or blockchains and you open yourself up to stuff. And I've heard, the problem is I don't know enough about it that I don't want to be giving either baseless speculation or baseless construed as FUD. I mean, I don't know. I've heard like we want to do like some sort of contract like change where it like makes stuff unruggable. But then I've heard that that's not in the blockchain itself. That's like a separate launchpad thing. So it depends really. If it's a very simple fork of Ethereum, and that's what's been promised to basically just be a proof of work Ethereum, then yeah, it is a very easy copy and paste. If the blockchain itself has got tons of technical changes, then they have 100% rushed the hell out of it because they pushed out very, very quickly. But again, I don't know whether it is supposed to just be a copy and paste of Ethereum proof of work. In that case, the time frame is not sus at all. If there's lots of changes to the blockchain, then I'm very dubious about like the full process of like auditing, etc. So again, I'm not in a place of knowledge to know which one of those it is, so I won't speculate.
Well, the guys on the stream are. Is it a layer 1 or is it just a copy and paste of Ethereum?
It's a layer 1 of the previous merge. So basically, it's 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, what 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗚 is right now. So it's the exact copy of that. Nothing has changed with that perspective. Like, it is what it is. Like, that's what you're getting. The other side. So the other side to that is the safe part is their launch pad that they're creating. So that's the part where they're creating a launch pad where it's KYC with the developers. There's a rating system as previous rugs and different things like that. All that stuff is all going to be on there within the launch pad. And that's what makes that part safe. Now, here's the reality. And, Roger, the dev, has always said this. There can be other launch pads that come on there and state that they do what they do. Anybody can launch the rugs on the blockchain. You can't stop that because it's not a private blockchain.
Yep.
However, the miners, there's two marketing narratives that I believe can take over. One, the miners, it just at one day, I haven't checked in a while because I've been very busy, as of late, but the miners at one time exceeded the mining in 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗚. So there are more miners mining on proof of memes than there was on ETH-PAL.
Was that after the merge or was that prior to the merge?
After.
Oh yeah, as an ETH.
After.
Yeah. Blocked. It was fork of. But I have to say that isn't necessarily as good as it sounds, because I know that it is currently unprofitable to mine on ETH.
Correct.
So
there's going to become a certain price with Palm Chain too. I believe the price is either 20 or 30 cents. I'm hearing that.
It might be because I have this open. Let's see. Is that better?
By the way, I'm here. There's this really annoying person in the comments, like copy and pasting the same thing over again about Yori and whether it rubbed. And the answer is no. Any human can just go into their Telegram and look at their pinned message that they're migrating. So you can stop posting that over again and do a little bit of research yourself and not just get people to interrupt their day. Telling you.
Let's chat about that for a second, though, and we'll get back to proof of means. So they're doing the migration. What happened with the contract? Because apparently people's wallets were getting blacklisted. They couldn't buy, sell, or transfer. Like, what exactly happened? What was the company they work with? And can you provide some updates on the migration?
The migration I'm not familiar with. In terms of the original launch, so there was they were working with a market maker who basically you had an anti-snipe thing. To basically, there was like 20 different Yoris that launched before the normal Yori. So people were just sniping stuff as it came up. Inevitably, that means that you can have like tons of sell pressure on launch because somebody takes like a huge amount across tons of wallets. Essentially, the market maker accidentally blacklisted the contract, the token contract address. Meant that where people could buy it, but nobody could sell it, which meant it seemed like a honeypot because the only addresses that could sell were the whitelisted ones. So that went on for like an hour or two, and then it was fixed, and then I don't know, they went on for like a few weeks afterwards, but yeah. So I don't know about the migration. All I know is I saw the same post that everybody
saw it. In a couple days, yeah. I think it's in a couple days they migrated. No, it did not rug. The devs are still updating the community talking about that. Now, we spoke about proof of means. Go ahead.
People gotta really. It's very easy to do your own research when asking questions, and I see a lot even in the comments of even in my DMs sometimes it's like these questions just go into Telegram.
Yeah, they're all there.
Ask the exact same question, and your answer is like boom, like. You can see I don't answer all my DMs, people, because it's just flooded with thousands of DMs. I don't have time to answer every customer service question on a coin that I talk about.
Yep.
When there are literally people and admin in the Telegram that would do that for you.
Honestly, the stuff I get is like, you won't believe. I opened my Telegram yesterday, and there's like multiple messages from people just saying, "Oh, I really like and believe in Vemp, but the bear market has, dropped the value of my other tokens. Can you send me some money? Like, just send me some money."
Sure.
And it's.
I gotta work for it. Just send it to me.
Send it to me.
I really believe in Vemp. I'm a community member. Vemp is one of my only coins that is still building. Can you send me more of it? It's like, yeah, I appreciate the fact that you. But I'm not just going to send you money because you're down on because you invested in drugs.
And a weird thing too, Jake. Remember when we were talking about the?
Yep.
Dude, I got attacked because I literally was like, "Is there two contracts?" I was confused. I saw the, and people were like, "You don't know nothing about crypto. You're an influencer." I'm like, "No, I know nothing about the. I didn't invest in it. I hope you guys win. I see you guys killing it, and I'm happy. I'm not hating." And because the price dropping a little bit, I think it can still go up. You got Vitalik tweeting. I wish you guys seriously the best. You probably know nothing about proof of means. If you didn't invest in it, I guarantee you know nothing about it. It's very deep. It's in depth. And I hope that you root for me to win. You probably don't, but it's just crazy how guys, it's we're in this together. We're in this crypto space to all make money. We're the 5% of the world that is in crypto right now. Let's all be cool with each other because we want to bring more people in the world into crypto. That's going to pump all of our bags. And eventually, if you're smart, you're doing your due diligence, you're going to get that 100,000x, especially in that bull run. You're going to make money. So cheer for your fellow guy instead of hating, say, my time's coming soon. And you could get in
Love
that mindset. It's easy. Just say, hey, my time's coming soon. I'm going to get this one. So I see you, 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧. Those guys jumped in Shill Tank. They had a great pitch. It looks like they're up on the day and not crazy.
Really?
Not
Pumping,
crazy.
baby.
Yeah, they're pumping, and it's not crazy volume. So that just shows people, nobody's selling that project. They really believe in it, and you see the community showing out strong.
Love.
So shout out to them. I hope they do good. I'm not in it, and I'm not going to hate on you. Look how that works.
Yon World, that's actually the main dev that was speaking to us yesterday. He's in the chat. Our final topic of the day, we have 10 minutes left. The question, is the bottom in? 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗏 has been saying it since he was born in 1937 that the bottom is in 2022. 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗏, I'm going to take it to you first. We're going to go around the table. Everybody's going to give their thoughts. I also want to ask the chat, guys, if you're in the chat, please let us know yes or no. And when you're typing that in, make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Hit that like button. Let's go around the table. Actually, let's start with Ian because he's right up here next to me on my left. So let me look at you over here, Ian. Ian, look to the right. Other right. Ian.
Yeah, Jake. So
is the bottom in?
So I got to agree with 𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗏 on this because I'm bullish, and it makes sense to me what he's saying about the 300-week moving average. And, you know, and I see it. I see when it happens when you almost hit these targets of it dipping down. You see the hedge funds, you see the big money front run it. And I feel like there's so many people that are bearish and they're waiting for, and I feel like that's the narrative right now. The narrative is that it's going to go to 10,000. It's going to go lower. That's the narrative they're pushing. And I never follow the narrative of mainstream. And because I just know that they're pushing for you to capitalize on you. So, you know, with my limited knowledge of it and me just being bullish all the time, and just seeing the narrative trying to be pushed on us right now, I go against the grain because that's the way the big money's going. They're trying to trap us in a way. I feel, my opinion, just my personal opinion, do your own research. There you go. That's my opinion.
𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗏, we'll go to you. I think Dom dropped off.
Oh, Dom. I was too bullish. Not just kidding, Dom.
Yeah.
𝗪𝗓𝗓𝗏 is the bottom in.
Right before I about to
Get him
here, man.
Share your screen.
Dom, where'd you go, man?
He'll pop
come back.
up.
He'll come back in.
You guys see this?
We're waiting for you, Dom.
You see this, Jake?
Yep. Let's make it a little bit bigger for people. And you can zoom in a little bit too. I think that would help. How I see the Bitcoin price going in the next year, 300-week moving average continues to move up. It's at 17,868. We close the year above 29K, get denied, pull back to 300-week moving average, up to play with 30K above and under, and maybe one more 300-week moving average test and off to the races. That's a year of price action. So what exactly does that mean for people at home? And let's welcome Dom back in. Whoa there, cowboy.
Hold on a second. Let me stop sharing.
Whoa.
It's like,
Dom, where'd you go?
That was Dom's last week. It's like, ooh.
Dom hated my prediction and left.
Dom heard you talking. He's like, nope.
He's like, I'm out.
I'm calling a $29,000 close by the end of the year.
Oh my God, you are absolutely dreaming.
The dollar, the Dixie, is ready to go down in a major correction, which is not actually a direct correlation to crypto. It's actually a correlation to other currencies in the world. It just happens to be that Bitcoin and crypto and risk-off assets kind of correlate to that lately. But
are you ready?
I'm calling for $29,000 or higher close on Bitcoin by the end of the year.
That's bullish, man. Vamp would be pumping, Dom.
You ready for this on top of that? We're not done yet, Dom. No, I'm not done yet. So the 300-week moving average is sitting above the low that I called back in December 4th of 2021. I'm about to be right on my call for a whole year. Before, when we were at $48,000 and everyone was still thinking we were going to go to new all-time highs, I was the only one saying, listen, guys, it's time to go back to the 300-week moving average, which is sitting way lower than $20,000. And everybody's like, oh, you're just so bearish, blah, 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 blah. Okay, 6 months later, come June, what happens? It hits off the 300-week moving average and goes up. So I'm not a psychic. I'm just telling you what I know through my years. And I'm also predicting that the yearly candle. See, I'm giving time frames that nobody looks at or thinks about. The yearish candle will not give Bitcoin's first bearish engulfing candle on the yearly. Absolutely not, because that is devastating to a chart. And if you think Bitcoin is going to print a yearly bearish engulfing candle, which means that every candle will be down from there for a good amount of years, I highly decline that action. That's going to happen.
Now are you done?
So with that said, how do you not create that yearly bearish engulfing candle? Well, that's easy. Wherever the year started in 2022, you must close above that. And that's at that whopping price that I just gave you. So I do believe the bulls. I do believe the high entities. I do believe that everyone that thinks this world's going to shit is going to do what they can do. And that's what you're seeing now. Pump this bad boy up back to over that mark. And then I think it's going to get declined after that. Absolutely. I do think it's going to get declined. But guess what? It's going to create a higher low on the yearly candle. And that's where the 17-week moving average is. But guess what? It's already above the low of this year. So that's what's going to happen.
Dom can't wait to rebuttal.
It closes above. I'm going to clip this up. I'm going to say this bad boy.
Dom can't wait to rebuttal.
It's going to close above. It is going to probably test back down to the 300-week moving average, where all the bears are like, I told you so. It's not going up. We're going to crash back down, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to say, I've been telling you guys since December of 2021 what's going to happen. On October 27th of 2022, I'm telling you what's going to happen in January 1st of 2023. So that'll be 3 years of just correct predictions. And it's going to go up from there. And we're going to go into the year. This is why I said that's price action for a year. It'll be 2024. And that's the time to front run the Bitcoin halving.
Right. Yeah.
And we go up from there.
Spirits don't let you talk. All right, Don, what you got?
What? Let's make a bet between that range, right? So let's say that if 29 is the year-end target, so where we are,
Clicks.
What level should we do of above or below? Should we do between? I think it will be lower than here.
That's because that's that's ultra bullet bearish, and I don't. There's no way we could do that because you're way below there. Like we're on two opposite ends of the spectrum. Unless you're willing to bring it up a lot.
That's why I'm thinking we can do in between the price of where we are now and
above.
So below. I would say below. I reckon we'll be below. Let's say 22.
So the closing candle in December was 28,992. So right now we're creating a bearish engulfing candle on the yearly. If it closes below 28,992, which I always go off of Bitstamp because Bitstamp has the oldest price action when it comes to Bitcoin on charts, and it is the chart to look at when it comes to crypto. Don't look at Coinbase because Coinbase came way after Bitstamp. So 28,992.79. I'm saying $29,000. It has to close above that.
And what's your price prediction, Dom? Like if you had to put a
he's way lower.
End of the year.
End of year.
Yeah.
I think that the key mistake that people are making in the market is forgetting what interest rates mean for tech, which is the powerhouse of, for example, Apple makes up 7% of the whole S&P 500, just one company, and that is one technology company. Over 20% of the S&P is made up of like 5 tech companies, and tech does not do well in high interest rate environments because the cost of lending is so high. And that means that they, for example, Meta had their results last night. They closed down over 20% today, biggest drop since 2016. And also on top of that, there's even Credit Suisse had their results out today too. Expected loss of $500 million, actual loss $4 billion. So they are literally going bankrupt and need saving. So if even banks are getting blown up in the current environment, the amount of what we used to call back in the VC industry, bullshit unprofitable tech, it's like the new bullshit government. But this is the thing, that is like a penny stock. Like, what is the market cap now of that?
A penny stock.
The only reason Meta went down was because Jim Cramer was bullish on it.
Well, that's pretty much the whole. That's every single like Apple as well. Like, I mean, I think we got Apple's earnings after the bell, so just past. Oh well, what is for me 9 p.m. I don't know what it is like Eastern time when it closes.
It's 10 a.m. Eastern.
For what?
For the stock market. Or is it
I mean, when it closes.
Closes at 4:30. Yeah, 4:30.
So just after the bell, you've got Apple's earnings, and if they are bad, it will destroy the whole market. Because right now, if you look, in fact, NASDAQ is down 1.08, S&P 500 0.14, the Dow Jones is up by 1.11%. Now, the Dow Jones is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and that is because it has Exxon, it has banks, and it's just 30 companies that make that up. It's not the tech sector. So there is currently a 2% spread between tech, which is down because Meta, that is literally all Meta. Everything else is doing okay. But because these tech companies have been pumped up by all of this dumb money, Cathie Wood from ARK and all these people who literally didn't even invest before like dividends were a thing. Nobody even invests in like dividends. Like the old style of investing used to be value versus growth. Nobody's asked that question since 2014 because it's been irrelevant. Interest rates, when they're down, everybody goes to growth because bullshit tech companies can borrow bullshit amounts of money, get into debt, and they can just go on, refinance the debt because it doesn't cost them anything. If you can borrow money at 2% and you can invest it and earn 3%, you have a readily available supply of money forever. What gets interesting is where debt is expensive, that you are no longer turning profit on it and you cannot cover it with just that alone. And that's where these companies fail because everyone is so used to, and everybody has been piling on debt because we've been 0% interest rates for 10 years. Literally every person is more debt-ridden than ever. Every company is more debt-ridden than ever. You've got 20% of the S&P, which is the zombie companies, where their debt is bigger than their yearly revenue. They have only been propped up by low interest rates because all they do is just borrow more, pay it off, borrow more, pay it off over and over again. It doesn't cost them. Now it really does cost them. Mortgages are now 7%. Like these are real painful interest rates nowadays that people just aren't used to. And Meta's results were terrible. Mm-hmm. Their cash flow was abysmal. It literally looks like they were going to go out of business. It was that bad. And that's why they're down so much. And that's because they're not used to this environment. It's the fastest rate hiking cycle in history. It's gone from 0 to 100 real quick. And there's a lot of tech, like Facebook, probably doesn't even remember. Like most tech companies have only existed in a low interest rate, all growth strategy environment. And there's going to be a big rude awakening. And what's going to come back into play is why the Dow Jones is the best performing index and why the FTSE 100, even though UK is absolutely destroyed and our economy is awful, is also on the top performing indexes because we've got no tech, all banks, all insurers, all energy companies, British Petroleum, Royal Dutch Shell. And that's why the FTSE 100, even though 90% of its revenue is offshore, is doing the best out of all these indexes because it has the right things in. And tech is such a big part of the stock market now that just you only need tech to do really badly and everything goes to shit. And Bitcoin will follow the NASDAQ.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think that this industry is so manipulated, and it's been manipulated for the last 10 years, 11, 12 years. Nothing's going to change in the manipulation. And I believe manipulation over, let's just say, logic. It should do that. I agree with you that. But there are a lot of powerful entities that will manipulate to a price that needs to be done so that they can win.
I would agree that is definitely part of it. However, those same people who can manipulate to the upside also have a lot to benefit from absolutely nuking everybody else. So there is two sides of every, just like how exchanges can see the hand you're playing, you can deal damage both by unexpected nukes and short squeezes.
But there's a fake out that can do that. And that's where I'm saying everyone's bullish. We're back over 30,000. This is great. We're going to the bull run. We're in the bull run. Boom, nuke it back down. You can nuke it back down literally $11,000 in 1 week for capitulation and still be above the 300-week moving average within the next 2 months. And that will wreck everybody in this market. And you don't have to bring it back below that 15,000, 10,000 everyone's doing. You fake everybody up to the upside, nuke them down $10,000, $11,000 in a week, in a single week, maybe 2 weeks, if you really want to draw it out. And then boom, bring them back, 25,000, take them back down, nuke them even more, and they're all washed out. Like that's just how, and just slowly make your way out, and people are wrecked.
I want to get your thoughts on this because actually, majority of people so far, there's been about 100 votes. Majority of people are saying yes, they agree with B-Roots. B-Roots just called it 29.
Well, it's been a bullish day. This has been a bullish week, so I do think if it was like 2 weeks ago, it'd probably be the other way around.
That gives more indication than ever.
I don't want that.
If people disagree, then that's if the fact that people are saying that like retail do not get it right. So I am more confident than ever. Thank you very much.
So what's your number? What's your number? End of the year, December 31st rolls around. What's your number for Bitcoin?
Give a range, because I don't. First of all, I don't like doing.
Give
numbers.
a range.
Yeah, I don't like doing numbers. Range.
The problem is whenever I'm asked this question is that when I give a price, people seem to think like I think it will hang around there, which I don't. But I think that we will get. The sooner that everything gets completely full-on capitulation and full-on fear, that is like a wick that goes all the way down and then it's back up by like, if you buy the bottom of that wick, obviously never try and catch a falling knife. But if you do, then like you can be 100% up by like, Bitcoin can go from if Bitcoin went to 4K, it would probably be at 8K by a few days later.
Same day.
It's why people say when I say that I think that we will see 4 or 5K Bitcoin, I think we will see it, but I think in a few days after that, we'll be back up at around 10. But I think that we will wick down. If we get to 10K, the leverage in the crypto market, if you look at the spot versus the derivative volume, it's about 80% derivatives at the moment, which means nobody is actually buying Bitcoins. It's all just speculative people buying and selling and having stop losses. And what you get in that sort of market is you get a stop loss cascade where everybody gets liquidated. It's why short squeezes, you have those aggressive spikes up because everybody's stop losses where they were short, they have to buy it back when it gets done. And it's the same on the way down. So if you get a full-on fear or capitulation, for example, if a dirty bomb or a nuke goes off in Ukraine or Russia, you could easily see 4K just from pure fear capitulation, and it could be back at 10K the next day. But I think we do see single digits. We might not linger around there, but I think that if there is that sort of cascading event, it will be very easy to see single digits, but it doesn't mean it will hang around. So I'd say we get more chance of being closer to 10 to 15 than sort of 25 to 30.
Wow.
If we do that, I think that there will be no bull run. You'll skip a halving. If you are right, we have to skip a halving.
Well, this isn't actually. I was talking to. I did the Bull CEO show with Gracie Chan, who is a CEO and MD of BitGet, and she mentioned about the halvening. And what is interesting, and what people don't necessarily associate with as well, is that the halvenings also just so happen to line up with quantitative easing and the easing of monetary policy cycles. So 2014, you had the sovereign debt crisis in EU. They started printing tons of money. 2013, you had that peak. Then 2017, you also had QE. And then 2021, we had it bigger than ever. So the halvening has just so happened to also line up with weak dollar and QE. So right now, there isn't necessarily proof either way. It's probably a contribution of both of them, but whether the halvening is more powerful than the money printer. Because right now they've both been correlated because they've just so happened to match up, because, you know, recessions and boom bust periods do tend to be the same sort of length. So what will be interesting is to see that if the halvening happens whilst the Fed and the ECB are still doing quantitative tightening, you know, raising rates and you know, selling down assets, it will be interesting if the halvening happens whilst QT rather than QE is happening. So I think that I'd love to see those two not match up, so that you can see whether the halvening is the main reason or whether it is just because the printer has happened to be on at those times. I'd like to see that.
Wow. Well, interesting stuff. A lot of disagreements here. I guess we'll see who's right. The Moon King B Roots or Dominic. Everybody, the Doom King, the Moon and the Doom King, everybody's favorite bald CEO. Leaves cryptos in the house. All he says is LOL Colt. I was talking to him. He came on my stream on Tuesday, the BJ show. Nothing like a good BJ show in the morning. And I said, we need to have a B Roots / Believes Colt debate, because I think it would be great. So maybe we
I don't
do
lose
that.
debates. Just
Maybe we set it up next week.
I've yet to lose a debate, so
we'll do a debate. We shall do a debate. Go ahead. Sorry about that, Dom.
Colt is unfuddable.
Yes.
So
Wow. Maybe we have Dom on here as well. Believes wants all the smoke. He can bring someone to FUD the project. Maybe he can bring Bitboy, and we'll bring you two. But for those that don't know, my guy B Roots joined me on Blockchain Buzz. It is now live on Gokshing Media's YouTube channel. He tells us all about his stories, investing, his cycles, how he turned $1,900 into millions. He even shares his portfolio strategy. So let's take a quick look at the trailer, and then it is now live on Gokshing Media YouTube channel. But here's the snippet from our episode. I am Jake Gagan, and joined by the Moon King himself, B Roots. A lot of people know it in batches. They see your tweets, they see your videos, but I think a good interview of yourself might be good, because you've had an incredible story, an incredible ride in cryptocurrency.
Absolutely. Went up, I went down, went up again, and hopefully I don't go down again. So I've got a very successful and telling story that a lot of people probably feel the same way, and I can tell it out there, let everybody know.
There it is, live on Gokshing Media's YouTube channel. B Roots joining me on the show.
I loved seeing that, like the music was like trying to be like semi-emotional.
Talking about my 1999 manual Tacoma I used to drive, bro.
That is now live, though, and I think Dom is going to be joining me next week, and then Ian Heinich the week after that, and then maybe we do all four of us. I don't know. We're having fun, but his story is now out. My guy, Big Dreams Crypto, said, yo, guys, how's it going? We had a great stream tonight. Thanks so much, everybody. And what did Believe say? I may disagree about Colt with B Roots, but he's the crypto king right now, and his calls shouldn't be ignored. So mutual respect there from Believes and B Roots. And look, a friendly debate. There's nothing wrong with that. Dom and B Roots just had one about the price of Bitcoin. I think I lean closer to Dom's side, but that's a show. Hour 45. Time flies when you're having fun. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't yet, B Roots, you looking at me? What?
Bro, what's going on? Look at Ian.
What?
This is like the Brady Bunch. We're just like,
Hold on.
Ian's
What's
like
going on,
that.
guys? Ian, talk to me. I'm looking at you.
Hey, why are you all bearish all of a sudden? You were so bullish, and then you got scammed a few times, and now
It's the macro. It's the accent.
No, I mean, I don't think we're going to 29,000. I think we're like, I don't know if we're going
So
down.
you think
to
we're going to 4,000?
No, definitely not. I don't think we're going anywhere near 12. I don't think we're going anywhere near 12. But I mean, 29 is. I just don't think we're going to hit 29 by the end of the year. Dom's looking at me.
Somebody's going to be right. In the end, somebody's going to be right. We're going
to find out.
We're going to find out, and we'll be back next Thursday for another episode of the Crypto Kings with everybody's favorite bald CEO, Dominic Ryder. That's the longest name of a show in history. The Crypto Kings show with everybody's favorite bald CEO. And Bleeves just throwing in the number before we ran it. He said 22.8. So he's just going to pick the middle between Dom and also 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧. But guys,
I'm one of those people who puts like, if you say, "Oh, it's going to be 22,000," and then they go 22,001. So there's anything higher, they're right.
Price is right rules.
And tune in to Shield Tank tomorrow, guys.
Tomorrow.
We got a giveaway, $2,000 giveaway. One's going to be for just chosen randomly, and one's going to be for the best pitch. So bring your devs, bring your developers, bring the community. It's going to be hyped. Proof of Memes is going to drop some alpha, and we're going to look for some more 1000x gems. I do believe that Proof of Memes has started the microcap bull run, and the market's kind of a little bit of a cool down right now with some projects that are breaking through. I see you, Ushi. I see you, Yantra. There's still coins doing it. Don't come at me and say Ian's wrong. And there's probably coins I don't know about, but from what I've been seeing, let's try to find another gem tomorrow. It's going to be a blast. 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, what'd you have?
Yes, and be prepared. We are planning now with Vemp for another Shield Tank. We did it on the sandbox. Now it's time for the Central Land to have their turn.
Let's go, baby.
With the Crypto Kings. So that's coming up. We'll get those dates out for you guys, and now you can play with the Central Land.
Let's go.
How we're doing it.
Let's go.
Great stream, guys. We'll be back next Thursday. Everybody go tune into Gokhshtein Media's episode of Blockchain Buzz with 𝗖𝗎𝗓𝗏. My name's Jake Egan, joined by 𝗖𝗎𝗓𝗏, 𝗖𝗓𝗓𝗏, and everybody's favorite bald CEO, Dominic Ryder. We'll see you next Thursday. Peace, everybody.
See you later.